Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and this right here is the new and improved Yolo Wagon. Well, it's not really new and improved, it just got PBR graphics, and honestly, that seems to have hurt the tank in terms of its armor profile. When tanks normally get PBR graphics, you will know that they get armor buffs, like the IS-7 received more armor when it got PBR, and other tanks for that matter. This tank actually lost a tiny bit of armor on its superstructure, and what that means is now you will be getting penned by a lot of heavy tanks that you normally wouldn't be when they shoot gold at you. Very unfortunate stuff, and in today's video I will be seeing if that really hurts this tank at all, or if it's still fairly good when played in live gameplay. Anyways, before we do get into that, I will go over the tank's stats, as it does have quite a few good things going for it. In terms of its gun, it deals 460 damage on the standard shells, 390 on the premium, and 600 on the HE, so decent alpha damage there. Its penetration is also very good at 299 on the standard, 407 on its heat, and 81 on its HE. So yeah, that heat pen is going to allow you to butter right through most tier 10s in the entire game. You're really not going to have much problem with the pen. You are going to have a problem with its gun depression though. 4 degrees is awful. Oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you how bad it is. You just have to try it out for yourself. 4 degrees is so inflexible. It's insane. You won't be able to work any ridgeline in the game. You're going to have to really use the terrain to your advantage to wedge your tank up on, to be able to get your gun down enough to shoot people sometimes. It's really challenging, and it's one of the big downsides of this tank. In terms of its accuracy, though, it has 3.9 seconds of aim time with a dispersion of 0.3. Which doesn't seem all that bad on paper. However, in-game, when you are moving this tank around, its on-move is absolutely awful. So you are going to find that this gun is extremely troll when you are trying to hit your shots, and a lot of them will actually just miss. Because this tank has no gun arc, it's pretty bad when you're trying to turn the tank and snapshot people. You don't want to be doing that. But, yeah. It has 3,700 DPM while using calibrated shells as well, which is actually very nice. One of the higher DPM tank destroyers in tier 10. And in terms of its mobility, it's also very good. 50 forward and 20 in reverse is excellent. It's why it's named the YOLO Wagon. That's why this tank has that nickname, because a lot of people just full send in it using that good mobility. And its hull traverse rate is fantastic at 51 degrees a second. Now, let's see what we can do in 3 live battles in this vehicle. So this tank is very hard to play as is. And since Wargaming did nerf the armor, you are going to have to play it more carefully now. Before the armor changes, you were able to basically just hide your lower plate behind a rock, and very few people would be able to pen you. You just wiggle back and forth, and then shoot them and crap on them with your 3,800 DPM. Now, however, people will be able to go through your superstructure, so you do actually want to play more passive than you normally would in this tank, because, yeah, even some medium tanks will be able to go through your superstructure if they are slightly above you. What I mean by that is, if you are on a terrain level like this, and your enemy is on that hill over there, they're above you, which means the armor profile is even weaker, especially on the superstructure. So, yeah, tank's no longer crazy good in its armor profile. However, does that mean this tank is actually bad? We're going to find out, and we are on Black Goldville in our first battle here. We do see the majority of their team is going caves, which is very interesting. And I'm going to position my tank right beside this Vickers here, and hopefully man doesn't block me too much. Like, bro, move out of my way here. I need to be able to see stuff as well there, Vickers. Thank you. Let's see. I am going to steal this Vickers position here because, I mean, bro's not doing anything useful, so there we go. Let's see if I can load a heat shell, and maybe... Okay, bro. That shell went nowhere, and, of course, the M60 pokes, like, right as I shoot, so that's great. Anyways, we are going to not pen the 777 once again. You can see, even on this slight angle right here on the mountain, my gun depression is struggling. Like, I am almost at the max amount of gun depression for this tank already, and I'm barely even on a hill right now. That's, again, the main downside of this tank, is it has no gun depression, and that's why it's a very difficult tank to actually play and do well in. Here we see the Caro. I do get a lovely 510 damage shot into him. You will see the nice reverse speed does really help you out here, so you can get quick shells into your opponents and then back up before they can hit you again. We do actually pen the Kron with our very nice heat pen, and in about negative seconds, I will have a shell for that grill. Unfortunately, wow, that low rolled like crazy. So the grill is still alive, which really sucks. And their WZ-113 GFT is, of course, in front of us. I'm going to try and fully aim this shot in. And we do actually get a bounce from him, too, because I did slightly angle. So, although the armor did get slightly nerfed on this tank superstructure, if you do angle and wiggle it around, it will still be very, very effective. And that's one thing that I will say is, yeah, the tank got slightly nerfed in its armor profile, but it doesn't mean it's any less good when it comes to getting bounces. There we see the WZ in front of me, and am I going to be able to get a shell into him? Yes, I am. He does pop his reactive just in time, though, which sucks because he's not dead when he should be. But, oh well, that's a reactive moment right there. Let's see if I can get a shot into this grill, killing him off. There we go. Nice kill shot. The gun's been working okay for us so far, which is actually quite surprising because, I mean, it's a 263 gun. It's normally super inaccurate. And let's see here. Can I get a couple of bounces? I mean, you can see our lower plate's showing, so obviously people won't have much of trouble penning me in the lower plate. And unfortunately, we do die. But, I mean, not much else I can really do in that situation. Like, our team just fell apart in caves. And, yeah, that's about it for game number 1. Unfortunate that it was a loss, but hopefully we will be able to win our next 2 battles. You can see there, like, the tank did get a decent amount of bounces for what it was worth. Like, even the WZ-113 GFT, which has insane heat pen, was actually still bouncing me for the most part. However, you do see how quickly this tank does get ripped apart when tanks are able to see your lower plate. Yeah. So, anyways, we did 3,500 damage. Our STRV actually did farm a decent amount as well, but not a bad first result, even though it was unfortunately a loss. Let's get into game number 2, though, and see if we can actually win this time. So yeah, 263 overall. It's definitely not a beginner-friendly tank. I don't recommend you guys grind this tank if you are newer to tank destroyers, simply because of that gun depression. It really, really hurts this tank overall. And, honestly, if you're going to be going for a tank destroyer as a beginner, go for like a 268, go for a 113 GFT. Any of those tanks are just much easier to play, and honestly, their guns are not even that much worse on accuracy than this thing. This thing has pretty bad accuracy for a 460 alpha gun, which is kind of sad. Now, our team on Port Bay here, what are they doing? Well, I'm not sure what that 4005 is doing, but the rest of us are, in fact, going seaside, which is obviously the correct side of the map to be going to on this map. Yeah, that's it. Let's see what we can do. I'm not entirely sure what type of position I want to take on this map. Normally, you want to be in a hull-down tank where you can take that mid spot right in front of me here. But this tank doesn't have gun depression, so that's a very, very big problem, and it means I can't really do much in that spot there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this Vickers to make a mistake, and there we do. There we go. He does make a mistake, and he gets killed for it. We at least hit him for a nice juicer of 498, and their team seems to be playing very, very aggressive indeed. Let's see here. Can I get a shell into the 60 TP? There we go. Their 183 is, oh my god, he's playing in a very weird spot. And this is actually really, really bad. Their chieftain has a very good spot on me right now. And what that means is, well, I can't really do much to him, and he can just use his 10 degrees of gun depression to pepper me with his shells there. And honestly, because he's also above me, that's going to cause a lot of issue, because my armor profile is pretty much useless when it comes to shooting it, or when it comes to dealing with tanks that are above you. So I really, really have to be careful there. And, oh my god, how is there Ho-Ri in the corner? Bro. What am I looking at right now? You guys see that? How did that Ho-Ri make it across to the corner? Okay. Well, anyways, we're going to try and get a shell into this 4005. I'm going to try and load an HE for him. There we go, 528 HE into his side there. And, I mean, this is looking like a very unfortunate battle right now. This team is not very good. Let's see if we can get a bounce from the 60 here. There we go. Armor profile's working right there. And you can see when you do angle this tank, its armor can be good. That was a terrible shot from me. I don't know what I was aiming at. But yeah, the 4005 is going to try and YOLO me. And he's probably going to be able to pen me if he just aims. Like, because this tank, its superstructure is pretty weak. You can see there. And honestly, let's see if I can even... Does he have another shell? Or is he out of shells? Wait a minute. Okay, well, bro killed himself because he was out of shells, and he did bounce one on me, so I guess that's okay. Another really, really bad team, though. Wow, okay, that makes sense. Clearly, I bounced a Chieftain Mark 6's side. Interesting stuff right there. Let's get another shell out, and I mean, bro. Another awful team. We do 4,000 damage, and our team probably didn't do anything. So, yeah, very sad indeed that we're losing all these games due to bad teams. But, I mean, you can see this tank's gun goes crazy when you put it in the right situations. Like, pumping out damage in this thing is so easy, bro. How does our E5 do 0? Oh, my God. Okay, well, that's pretty bad. Let's get into game number 3. Hopefully we don't lose all 3 games in a row. That would be a first for my videos. Yeah. I mean, these teams have just been very, very sus today. I don't even know what to say, honestly. But that's the thing. Like, tank destroyers at the end of the day, they're team dependent. And if your team falls apart, you're very much screwed. Especially in a tank like this. It doesn't really have the carrying potential of, let's say, a medium or light tank. So you're basically at the mercy of, is Wargaming going to give you a crap team? And that's all you can really do. There's nothing more you can do other than try and farm as much damage as you can. And at the end of the day, it's up to Wargaming whether they're going to give you a good team or not. We're on Molendijk for our last battle here, and it's not a bad map for this tank, but it's not exactly the best either. In this sort of situation on this map, I'm hoping that our team goes town. Simply because town is really the only spot where I can use this tank without its gun depression, because it doesn't have gun depression. So going on a town side like this on this map, it really helps because I don't have to use gun depression that this tank doesn't have. So with that out of the way, let's see, our team is going town, which is good. So now I just have to hope that a couple of their tanks go town as well. This map in town is very good for this tank because you can use these like ridges of dirt and crap to kind of hide your tank's lower plate, which is usually very good. However, because of the armor nerf, again, I'm going to have to be a little bit more careful with how I'm showing my tank because, yeah, I'm going to get penned in the superstructure a lot more now. So we do hopefully get both our shells into that 704 there. I don't know where bro went. Okay, man just kind of disappeared. Oh, there he is. You get a third shell into him. There we go. Very nice indeed. And I mean, again, you can see the gun is absolutely insane. We're just ripping this guy apart. There's nothing he can do about it. Like, oh dear, maybe he'll pen me once. But, I mean, what else is he going to do? That's it. That's game over for him already. And it's been, like, what, 2 seconds? Let's see if we can get a nice HE juicer into this 50B. And, oh my god, you can see that 600 alpha damage with the HE. If you can use its 81 HE pen, it's very, very nice indeed. And, bro, what is the 60 TP? Try and snap a shell into his turret there. But, I mean, this gun's accuracy is not good enough, which is why I always say, don't snipe in this tank. You're not going to be effective whatsoever if you choose to try and snipe in this thing. Just don't do it, man. Your gun is not accurate enough. Unfortunately, we don't pick up the kill on that guy, but it's okay. Honestly, whatever. This team is actually looking like it looks like we're going to win this game, basically. So let's YOLO this Sheridan. YOLO Wagon time. Oh, yes. And let's see. We do have a WZ on my side now, which is very sad indeed. And, I mean, you can see the traverse speed on this tank is just kind of stupid. That Sheridan dies, and now I'm going to YOLO this WZ. Hello! Look at this. We're actually getting some YOLO Wagon gameplay in right now. This is what you want to do against medium and light tanks. You want to just YOLO the crap out of them because they are absolutely terrified of a tank that has tons of armor and good DPM. Because you have more DPM than these light tanks. Like, it's really, really funny. So one thing is I am scared of that WZ. He has a lot of pen, and in this close quarter situation, he's not going to have much problem penning me. So let's see here. Oh, our 183 is a Giga Chad, and he actually does kill that guy off. Insane stuff right there. This 183 player has actually been effective, which is very nice. And let's see if we can get a shell into this WZ before he runs. But I'm not sure what he's doing, actually. What is bro doing? Well, thank you for the free damage there, WZ. And this has been a very good battle to end off today's video on. At 4,600 damage, finally a win as well. And a fantastic showcase. All 3 of these games showing off what the 263 can and can't do. It's very good with its amazing DPM. However, its armor does kind of struggle sometimes, and you are super, super team dependent. So 4,600 damage for our third and final game. Pretty solid win. And yeah, it was a perfect situation for this tank because we were able to use it on a town map. Anyways, as you can see from this video, the 263 is a hard tank to play, and as I said earlier, I do not recommend this tank for newer players. However, it is very, very fun when you can get it to work properly. And with that, for any of you out there who are not yet subscribed to the channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support content like this and more, and stay up to date when I post videos almost daily. Also, join the Discord server if you haven't already. It's a great place to chat with me and hang out. And with that, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.